Hi, I'm Brenda. Welcome back to my quilt room. And today we're going to be showing you the June block of the month. Now, it's hard for me to believe that we're already 6 months into the year, but we are. And I want to say a quick thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm up over 1,000 subscribers now, and it's all because of you. Along with the block of the month, we're making PDF instructions. So if you feel like you can't keep up with the instructions and the number of pieces and blocks, that's all going to be written down in the instructions for you. You'll find it underneath the description of the tutorial. Also, I want to point out this quilt behind me. Now, you've seen this before if you've watched any of my other videos. This particular quilt is a takeoff of the disappearing pinwheel that I originally saw on Missouri Star Quilt Company as a tutorial. And then, as you know, if you follow me, I like to change things up a bit, and I switched some things around and did some things differently, and I've added scallops and applique to the borders of this quilt behind me. So if you have never seen a disappearing pinwheel and you're interested in that, just leave me a comment below and I will put together a tutorial on how to make this block, the disappearing pinwheel. And it also is inside a churn dash block. So anyway, but that's not what we're working on today. Today we're working on our June block of the month. And I saw this on Pinterest. And it's a half square triangle star. And I thought, oh, that would be so pretty in my Christmas scraps for the month of June. And this would go really well into the quilt. So I'm going to show you, this is made up totally of half square triangle units. So let's get started. What you're going to need 2 8-inch squares. And I have 2 right here. You'll need more than that to make your 2 blocks. You'll need 4. So what you're going to do first, you want to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on both sides of a block. You'll need a light one and a dark one. So here's my light and my dark. And then I dotted the 1/4-inch sewing lines on the block for you so that you could see where I'm going to sew. Now I did the first 2. So we'll go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew these 2 and I'll show you how to cut it apart to get your units to make your block. And for one block, you will need 2 of these 2 light and 2 dark 8-inch squares. I just can't believe it's already June. This year is flying by. It may seem tedious to have so many half square triangle units, but it's really very easy. It's a very easy block to do. And I thought stars are Christmassy, so we'll have to put some stars in there. Stars are pretty, really, and they don't have to be Christmassy in any quilt. Stars are a very traditional quilt pattern. I couldn't find any information about this one historically, to share a bit of history with you, but I just thought it was really cute. Okay, so then you'll press it and you'll set your seams. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut it down the middle. And then we'll spin it around and cut it again. And you could even leave these separated if you wanted to. Well, I guess I better pull those out. I don't want to ruin my blade and cut over a pin. So you're going to cut it also crossways. Okay, now you have 8 half square triangle units, and you'll want to press these out. You'll press them toward the dark side. They have to be squared up though. So you're going to square these up to 3.5 inches. And again, I'm using my half square square up ruler from Quilt in a Day. You can use a regular ruler and just mark across at your 3.5 inch line to square up. So I had already made one set of 8. And so there's very little to trim. And so we're going to do that to all of these, to all 8. And it takes 16 to make a block. So I'm scooting this over to the edge so that I can basically just trim one little side and be done. Get my 3.5 inch on there and trim it. I know there's all sorts of things out that are available today. Different kinds of rulers. I've had these for a long time, and I just go to this all the time. It's just so handy, especially if you have a lot of trimming to do, like on this block. It's so much handier to have a tool that works really well for you. So we have 3 more. And it looks like I have a little bit on this other side to trim. Sometimes there's a lot of trimming, but you just have to be patient and make sure you go through each step, because squaring up makes the biggest difference in how your pieces will all fit together really nicely. Okay, that's the last one. Now, all of these will be pressed back to the green 3.5 inches. And you can press those with an iron and then snip off your little dog ears on the side like that. So I'm just going to finger press these back and show you how to lay out your block. And it's a good idea to have the picture of what the block looks like and to follow it, because I get turned around really easy. So there's that. And then here's part of the first 4 that I had already made, or the 8, and that. Let me fold these back. That one goes that way. It might be easy for you to remember how your blocks are supposed to go, but I just have a really hard time if I don't keep them right in front of me to remember which block goes which way. when I take it over to the sewing machine to sew it. And that one goes that way. This one goes down, and again, that one will go down, up, and then down in the corner. Okay. The reason I left the middle open, I want to show you, these would, of course, these would all be separate, just like, just exactly like these are, but I sewed them together because I want to show you on the back where you sew your seams together, and you'll stitch these together by row. But how this is so thick right here in the middle, if I can get that all laid over. And I want you to be able to see right here in the center. This is the top edge where your triangles come together and form that little point. And as long as your stitch is right on that point or over in the seam area on this side, your points will be really nice on the front of your block. See, I pulled out these 3 little stitches that were right there when this was sewed together. And by plucking those out on each side of the seam, what you can do is you just give this a little tug, and this wants to open up, and it makes this cute little pinwheel in the middle. But what that does, it swirls the seams, and if you mash it really hard, it just helps your quilt block lay nice and flat when you press it down, and the seams will not be so bulky when you sew it together, and then when you get it quilted, the seams will be nice and flat, and your whoever quilts for you, if you get it long-armed, if you do it by hand, it'll give a nice finished look to your quilt. Now, what you're going to do is just as normal, each row, you will put these on top of each other, take them over to the machine, and you're going to 1/4 inch seam them down, open them back up, row by row. So you're going to stitch your 4 rows together. And like I said, I only stitched this together so that I could show you the back side of the quilt. So here's the back of this one. And you can see I did the same thing here. Like the first row, the seams all went this way. The second row, seams are this way, and this way, so that they will nest. When you put them together, they'll be secure, and then you can see where you're stitching to not lose your point, and then there's the little pinwheel that it made in the middle. So for the month of June, you're going to be making 2 of these half square triangle block stars. Something else I noticed about this is that on this one, where I have the green as the star, well, really, I guess the red could be, but if you wanted to make your outside triangles a different color other than just the ones that form the star blades, you could easily do that. You can do so many things with half square triangles. Don't be afraid to play with it. It's a very standard type of block. You can put them together and make flying geese. You can make, as you see, you can make star blades. You can make chevrons. Let's see. There we go. And you could make rows of these to make a really quick, easy little quilt that will form a zigzag pattern. So have fun learning how to do your half square triangle units and making your star block for June. And thank you to the new subscribers. I would appreciate it if you like my videos, that you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So until next month, we'll see you later.